favorite athlete switch to the opposition. It can obviously even happen in your personal life with your friendships or your place of employment, but it can also happen with the companies or the brands that we support. And many of us, myself included, have felt that Xbox has slowly betrayed trust over the last few years. And
Sony has betrayed my trust because instead of making new games, they prefer to do remasters and remakes. Sony has betrayed my trust because games like The Last of Us and Marvel Spider-Man Great Web got canceled, all in favor of Concord. Sony has betrayed my trust because everything we want, we get the complete opposite. Sony has betrayed my trust. Do you hear this, fool? Because they put their exclusives on PC. Like, what do you mean by betrayed trust? Okay, they want to work on the PS5 Pro version of Diablo IV, and like, we should be commending Microsoft for doing it. Why are you guys hating Microsoft for updating a game on PlayStation 5 Pro? I mean, at this point, they're doing more for PlayStation than PlayStation themselves.
Recent development with the PS5 Pro is pushing that feeling into overdrive for some of the most loyal Xbox fans. Many see Xbox.
I'm a loyal Xbox fan, and guess what? I personally don't care because you know why? It's not that big of a deal. Oh, Microsoft's enhancing a game for the PS5 Pro. Like, nobody cares, bruh. Like, what is wrong with you people, man? Like, you guys have that many attachment issues. You guys should be more concerned about what Sony's doing for y'all. Why are you guys still port begging? You see Halo and Unreal Engine 5, and they're like, we want a piece of that. Hopefully it comes out on my PlayStation 5. What is, like, I'm starting to think that you guys picked up the wrong console. So if you wanted to play these games, go pick up an Xbox to play them. But instead, you guys want to, have your cake and eat it too. It is what it is, man. There's going to be some little differences that are going to make people want to go out there and have an Xbox as well as a PlayStation. But instead, you ponies would rather complain, hoping the day that Microsoft drops every single one of their quote-unquote no Xbox games, right? Let's not forget, Xbox has no games. Because if Xbox has no games, then why are you guys port begging about games that they have? Seriously, bro, the hypocrisy of you PlayStation fanboys is unrivaled.
Hands with the PlayStation 5 Pro as switching to playing for the team that you've been losing to, which is...
What team you talking about, bruh? Because the last time I checked, Nintendo is single-handedly whooping Sony, from software to hardware to even memberships. What are you talking about, bro? And let's not even go as far with online gaming. Nintendo's beating Sony in the only department that Sony should have an advantage in. You're trying to tell me that Nintendo has more online multiplayer gaming experiences than the ones that are offered by Sony themselves? Really listen to what I'm saying. How is that even possible?
Is honestly a tad late, given the clear indicators that Xbox will continue to put first-party games on PlayStation
and Sony will continue to put first-party games on PC. So what exclusive argument are we having here? Because the last time I checked, none of the games that you got on PlayStation 5 are exclusive either. You got some form of timed exclusivity, and that's it. Black Myth, all these games are coming to Xbox. You do know that. Final Fantasy 16, Rebirth, all because they failed on your glorious PlayStation, is the reason as to why those games are dropping on Xbox. So when you mean exclusive, you're going to have to clarify what exclusives you're talking about, because last time I checked, none of these platforms have real exclusives.
It's all but abandoned the idea of exclusivity.
We want to sit there and talk about how Microsoft abandoned the idea of exclusivity while Sony proceeds to put their games on PC. See, this is why nobody takes the PlayStation fanboy community seriously. Y'all like, oh, why aren't you talking about Xbox? Because Xbox dudes don't be talking like this, man. Now, there's a few cats that I've seen in this community that be doing that, but you guys take the cake when it comes down to hypocrisy and some of the worst gaming takes that I've ever seen. It's gotten to the point where I used to address Nintendo content creators, and now I'm talking about Sony ones, because I started realizing how much worse you guys are than the Nintendo community.
But seeing Xbox first-party games get the PS5 Pro enhanced label is the final blow for some fans. It creates a clear value gap within the console space. And while currently Diablo IV is the first and only official announced Xbox-owned title that will get the label,
I want Microsoft to enhance some games for the PS5 Pro. Give you a reason as to why you pay $700 to have one. Like, why as a consumer would I care that Microsoft decided to put some enhancements for Diablo 4 or other games, maybe Hi-Fi Rush and Grounded? Who cares, bro? It ain't even that serious. And what's so funny about these PlayStation fan wannabes, they want to sit there and talk about, oh, I don't need an Xbox, I got a PC. So if you have a PC, then why don't you play most of the games that have dropped on PlayStation on your PC, like Silent Hill 2 Remake and Until Dawn? It's the hypocrisy with you people. It's like, if you have a PC, then why aren't you picking these games up for your PC? I know a dude, right, that has a PC, but he proceeds to pick up games for his PlayStation, but then you go as far to knock Xbox for putting their games on PC, saying, I don't need an Xbox, so I'll just play them on PC. But then you have Sony doing the same exact thing, and yet you don't buy them on PC. You buy them for your PlayStation 5. It's either that or you people are just lying about these gaming rigs that you allegedly have in your home, or you still have this quote-unquote console fanboy warrior within. Like, it's crazy, bro. Grow up. It ain't even that serious.
It stands to reason that if you allow one of your biggest properties to do it, then more will follow.
Oh, that's funny, because when that logic was going for PlayStation with games being dropped on PC, y'all didn't say that. Oh, it's just a few games. You know, it's just a case by case basis. You know, they wouldn't put Marvel Spider-Man, they wouldn't put God of War, and look what happened. They put all of Sony's biggest titles. Y'all remember when they first started doing it? Oh, they just put Detroit Become Human. They just put in certain games, and then, like I said, just like what you say with Xbox, PC gamers getting the full slate.
As far back as I can remember, even Nintendo and Sega were battling over performance with their commercials. They would talk about things like Blast.
Bro, this is 19. Bro, come on, bro. I'm sick and tired of you people bringing up things from over 30 years ago as if they're relevant now. Bro, things have changed. People have changed, bro. You was a child then. You probably didn't even have a beard, bro. Like, it's crazy, bro. You're like one of the kids that we wouldn't like at school, personally. Like, nobody would want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! With you, okay? Like, for real, man. You need to calm down with this.
Processing, and Nintendo doesn't. And this generation of consoles went from Xbox declaring that it had the world's most powerful console to now allowing first-party games to leverage enhancements on their former competition's stronger bot.
Dude, there's no competition, bro. Microsoft and Sony all probably having dinner with one another. You really think that Microsoft and Sony are actually out here competing in the market? See, what you don't understand, that we live in a day and age where every single company can be successful. Microsoft's making their money. Nintendo's making their money. Sony, they are losing their money on a few things that they're doing, but they can still proceed to make money. They can turn things around, okay? No matter what Microsoft or no matter what Nintendo does, Sony's going to still have their audience because of all the money and time that's been invested into these platforms for them.
And you might be saying, well, what difference does it make? I'll still get these games day one on Game Pass, or I could get better performance on a stronger PC, which is certainly true. But even day and date on Game Pass has moved to Ultimate, and the price of Ultimate has gone up on consoles.
And we're not going to talk about the price going up on PlayStation with no improvements. Okay.
Xbox console.
See, it's just this type of logic, bro. Like I said, man, if you guys want to talk about Xbox, just keep things consistent, bro. That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying. You guys want to sit there and call people like myself Xbox fanboy for stating a fact. Yes, Microsoft increased their Game Pass Ultimate, but Sony has also increased their subscription services. Like I said, man, why do you guys feel afraid to mention these things? You know why? Because for some reason, it doesn't make your platform feel more superior than the other. Like, you people are a joke.
Likely not enjoying the sense that the best console to play Xbox games on will soon be a PlayStation 5 Pro.
Bro, are you guys getting Gears E-Day? Are you guys getting the Halo with the Unreal Engine 5? Are you guys getting South of Midnight? Are you guys getting Perfect Dark? Are you guys getting any of these games, bro? We still don't even know. Did you guys even get Starfield? Like, what are you guys talking about, bro? This is so weird. Like, you guys are waiting your whole lives to play games when you could just play them right now by picking up an Xbox. You can't even go as far. If you're doing this, you can't even say Xbox has no games. Don't you dare say Xbox has no games when you out here port begging for games to drop on the PlayStation 5. That's how bad the PS5 is, to the point where you guys have to depend on Microsoft to do more for your PlayStation than PlayStation themselves. Though this whole console is a joke, man. I'm sorry. PS5, by far, one of the worst PlayStation. It's even worse than the Vita. I don't even care no more. It's that bad. It really is, bro. As a diehard PlayStation fan, it's really that garbage.
And that, this situation opens up a whole host of other questions about the future of Xbox and their games and even their future hardware. Now, every weekday here on Reforge Gaming, I tell you what I think about a gaming topic, and then we go to a letter on October the 3rd, and he made it crystal clear. He replied to a question about this topic, and he said the following. I've been getting this question quite a bit recently, and I'm happy to say that Diablo IV and Vessel of Hatred will indeed be PS5 Pro enhanced. Very proud of our hardworking team to make this happen. More details at a later date. Now, somebody might say, well, it's a long-standing multi-platform game. This isn't really that big of a deal. But I would push back and say that this is a large piece of property in the Xbox catalog. And
how so? Because you guys downplay it every single second, knowing that the game's already on PS5. You guys downplay the game just because it's an Xbox-owned game on PS5. So, I mean, you guys have already downplayed it enough.
One of the first games from the Activision deal to land on Game Pass. So minimizing this game or relegating it to sort of a non-Xbox brand ambassador status, I just don't think that's a fair read of the situation. But it does open a whole host of questions. Will Xbox have criteria with regards to this sort of a decision? Will it need to get the PS5 Pro Enhanced label later and not on the release date of the game?
I don't think they care. I think they'll put it whenever it's available. I think you're thinking too much of it. Like, I think they're working on something, and when they finally officialize it, they're going to drop it on the PS5. I don't really think it's that complicated. I really don't think that they got all these, I don't know if they got to talk to Yoshida and Jim Ryan and then and make all these fun. Bro, it's not that hard. Like, you are overcomplicating something that's so simple. They decided to say, hey, we're going to do a PS5 Pro update for that console in the end. And when they finish, they'll release it. I don't think they're having these type of conversations here at Reforge Gaming. Maybe you fanboys are, because you fanboys have nothing else to look forward to besides playing some Xbox games. Come on, man.
Like Doom the Dark Ages, it seems like an obvious choice to leverage the new tech and the greater power of the Pro. If the devs are targeting the label, will it be something that lands on the release date of the game? Will Xbox even allow any of this to be in the marketing? You just had the senior vice president and GM of Diablo IV officially announce it 5 days before the Vessel of Hatred.
So the whole point is that Microsoft has touted that they have the most powerful console. The PS5 Pro comes out. So this is the argument that we're trying to have. The PS5 Pro comes out, which is more powerful than... I really don't even think it's that much more powerful. I just think it's actually going to, essentially even them out or whatever. But hey, if you guys want to say it's more powerful, that's fine. I mean, even Sony hasn't even stated that. Have you guys noticed that? Sony never even stated that they got the most powerful console. Only the fanboys are running with it. Have you guys noticed that? Only the fanboys have been running with it, but Sony themselves haven't stated that it's a more powerful console. All they said is that they overclocked, the GPU, and it's a little bit larger. That's all they really said, and it has some advanced ray tracing or whatever. I mean, to be honest with you, bro, it's very negligible. I mean, Digital Foundry has been laughing at every single comparison that you guys got with this PS5 Pro. They've been making a whole mockery out of this platform.
See releases. That isn't exactly official Xbox marketing, but it's pretty darn close. And what about older games that get ported to PlayStation like Sea of Thieves, or something that's a little bit more recent like Hi-Fi Rush? Or you had your big surprise at Summer Game Fest, Indiana Jones is going to have roughly a 6-month or less window before it hits PlayStation. Regardless of how the timing plays out with old titles or new releases, it's clear that this was unexpected for those who thought the Bethesda acquisition and the Activision deal would lead to things improving for longtime Xbox fans.
What are you talking about? They get to play Indiana Jones before you play it. That's already an advantage right there. Regardless if it's 6 months or 3 months, they have an opportunity of playing the game this holiday season, and you don't. So you guys want to sit there and act like that's not a benefit? Microsoft can single-handedly bring out their own exclusive games while also providing the best third-party experiences for their consumers. What are we talking about here? Like, what are we honestly? I mean, you guys want to sit there and downplay and say, "Oh, well, that's stupid." Then, okay, then Black Myth Wukong is also stupid. Then also all these other games that have timed exclusivity on PS5 is stupid too, because these games are all coming to Xbox. So what are we arguing here? Like, you got to ask yourself, what are we really arguing with here? You guys just got Power Word after completely saying, "Oh, the game's trash," and now all of a sudden you guys are loving it on the PS5. All I see is a bunch of hypocrisy from you fools. You guys like these games, but you just hate on them because they're not on your preferred platform. That's it. That's it. X-Vault Gaming, of all people, was bashing Power Word, and now he got video gameplay of him playing it. Come on, man.
Roughly 2 years into this generation, I felt that Xbox was not giving me what I hoped for. And when we made it into 2023, I was beyond disappointed with how they had handled this gen. As we close out the 4th year of this generation, many are left wondering if the big acquisition deals have done anything for them.
Yeah, they got Black Ops 6, they got Diablo 4. I mean, to be honest with you, that Activision ordeal is what is the reason as to why y'all even got games in the first place. Without that, you wouldn't have your hi-fi. You wouldn't even have any of these games, bro. I don't think these companies were even thinking about working on these games until Microsoft acquired them. Bethesda was going to end it with Elder Scrolls 5. They didn't personally see a reason to do an Elder Scrolls 6, but since Microsoft acquired them, they said, you know what? This is what we're going to do. Same thing with a Starfield. These companies, I mean, if anything, Microsoft has inspired these companies to do more. For not just themselves, but for the gaming community as a whole. And you PlayStation fanboys have no appreciation for that, while Sony gives you nothing but remasters and remakes, and you eat it up like it's nothing.
Because it's all seemed to lead to more emphasis on things outside of the Xbox console itself, which of course leads to the next big question. What about the future hardware? If Xbox is willing to allow their first-party property to have its best console performance on the PS5 Pro.
If Sony is allowing to have their exclusive games have the best performance and resolutions on PC, then what's the point of a PS5?
How does that...
And then the argument that they bring up, well, you don't play it right away. Same thing with a lot of these Xbox games. You're not playing a lot of these Xbox games right away. All I'm trying to show you guys is the hypocrisy in how they're talking. Okay? Same thing with the Indiana Jones argument. Same thing with all these other arguments with PlayStation. You're not playing these games right away. But there's games that are on both platforms. It's really timed exclusivity. There's really no real exclusives.
Let's square with future hardware plans. I continue to see rumors and speculation about 2026, and most of this just seems like wishful thinking or hopeful fans. But let's just say that something is actually coming out in just 2 years' time. Hypothetically, if it was targeting having more power and better performance than the PS5 Pro, why would you waste time allowing...
Hold on, what are you talking about, man? When the Xbox came out, they weren't even a such thing as a PS5 Pro. Like he's expecting Microsoft to be able to tell time and say Microsoft has to be able to tell between the 4 years of the PS5 being out that their console will still be the most powerful. Microsoft can literally do the same thing. They can make a more powerful console, but I am also hearing, guys, that Microsoft is going to make a next generation console in 2026. This is from what I'm hearing, and Sony's planning for 2027. So there's some weird things going on, man, like I said, but I think this generation ended pretty quickly. I think the real generation is going to start around 2026. You know what I mean? You're going to start seeing, but the problem with this is that, yeah, you're going to get games for the Xbox Series X and PS5 Pro, but then you're going to have to come to the realization that now you're finally playing the PS5 level type games, but you're going to be playing them on the Series, whatever, and the PS6. So essentially the PlayStation 6 is the real PS5. This is so weird, right? The PS5 is really just a PS4 enhanced model. And the PS6 is going to be where we get the real next generation PS5. It's like, what? Like, why are these companies doing that? And if you notice, it feels more like an upgrade on a phone. So we're not getting what we want, guys. I'm just letting you know right now.
When your developers to push for the PS5 Pro enhanced label, wouldn't you just ignore the Pro and focus on announcing your new hardware in 2 years and ensure?
See, there's no reason for that because I think this generation has already ended. This generation has ended. You know what? Let me break this down. I think Microsoft and Sony, all they did was extend the generation. Yes, there's a few case-by-case games that are not on PS4 and Xbox One, but I think all Microsoft did, we're still in the Xbox One generation, guys. We're still in the PS4 generation, you know? And I think Microsoft, by putting Gears E-Day, is their way of saying, this is not the real generation. Y'all like, what would you mean? I thought you would. I mean, think about it, because we should be playing a Gear 6. And I'm not saying I don't prefer an E-Day. I think an E-Day would be more interesting, so I'm fine with it. But I'm just saying, think about how they're going about these games. Sony with these remasters and remakes. When you really look at it, it just seems like all they're doing is stalling the inevitable. Have you guys noticed that? It just seems like they're just stalling it. And I'm saying this from both companies. They're just stalling y'all. Even Nintendo, they're just stalling y'all out. They're not giving us the real PS5 advancement. They're not giving us the real Xbox Series advancement. I think Microsoft's doing a better job by pushing out the Unreal Engine 5 games. So I would say yes. But I think this generation is going to start and it's going to end very quickly, because it was never a real generation. It's going to be one of those generations that we consider like when Goku went full Super Saiyan against Lord Slug. Yeah, it was there, but it wasn't really the next generation. You feel me? This is how I feel with this, man. This is just an extension to what people was already doing on, like I said, if GTA 6 ain't out when these consoles is out, well, they probably will drop. Then the generation, this generation is a joke. So, because essentially what I'm saying, and this is why I keep hearing that GTA 6 keeps getting delayed. GTA 6, if it drops in 2026, from what I'm hearing now, that's probably when the real next generation is going to begin. That game's going to drop on PS5 and Xbox Series. And then they're going to have, and Xbox is going to have another console, which is going to have GTA 6 run better. It's stupid, bro. I really hate this, honestly. I really do.
Or that it's the best console to play Xbox first-party games. Obviously,
how is it the best console to play Xbox first-party games if you're not getting every single first-party game?
Could be wrong, but it doesn't seem very logical.
Just like you guys say PC's not the best to play PlayStation games because you don't get the games day and date. There you go. See? Destroyed your argument.
2 years allowing first-party games to get the PS5 Pro Enhanced label, only to try to market hardware that is then stronger than the Pro.
And there's a reason as to why Microsoft doesn't care about the Pro, because it's a redundant console. It's redundant. There's no reason for it. All it's going to do is close the gap a little bit, right? That's kind of the whole purpose of it, and have probably an easier job at running Unreal Engine 5 games. That is it. So I guess for the PlayStation enthusiasts, that would be perfect. But when the PS6 drops, the PS5 Pro is going to be garbage. See what I'm saying? All the PlayStation is doing, they're just extending they're just hustling y'all at this point. I mean, Microsoft didn't see a need to do this because their next generation console is dropping in 2026, from what I'm hearing. Like I said, take it with a grain of salt. So there's no reason for them to drop a next generation console. All I'm trying to tell you guys think that we're playing in a whole new generation of gaming, when all you guys are doing is playing in the same iteration of gaming, but just more enhanced and more optimized. You can tell by the games that they're coming out, bro. How do y'all not see this? Until Dawn remake, Horizon Zero Dawn, remaster Last of Us, remake Last of Us. Bro, look at the games that you're getting. Does this feel like a next generation to you? It doesn't. You know it. A lot of these games could have ran on a PS4, man. Y'all know this. Y'all know it. You're not playing in a real generation. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Like I said, Reforge Gaming, he don't even know what he talk about.